Welcome to DC Economics. So today we're going to look on consumer behavior. We are going to look on how we can solve the utility maximization bundle, consumer surplus, the level of utility, and so forth. Suppose that the demand function of prawns is given by Q is equal to 10 minus 2p raised to the power of 0.5. Now we're required to calculate the consumer surplus at price which is equal to 4 Tanzanian shillings and again at price of 1 Tanzanian shillings. Solution. Suppose we have the demand function that is 10 minus 2p raised to the power of 0.5. What we need to do here, we need to plug the first price to our demand function so as we can obtain the output. That will give you output is equal to 10 minus 2. You plug in 4 raised to the power of 0.5. So we take out 10 minus 2 times bracket 4 raised to the power of 0.5. So this will exactly give you equals to 2. So we take out 2 times 2, that is equal to 4. So the demand function Q is equal to 10 minus 4, which is equal to 6, as you can observe. So we'll take out 10 minus 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. The answer will be equal to 6. So the first output level from our demand function will be equals to 6. Again, since our first output is equal to 6, and what is about our price? Our price is equal to 4. We are given the price which is equal to 4. So we find the second level of demand functions output, which is equal to 10 minus 2. Instead of plugging the first price, we plug in the second price, which is equal to 1.0 raised to the power of 0.5. So our Q, our second output level, will be equal to 10 minus 2 times bracket 1.0 bracket raised to the power of 0.5. So this will exactly give you 2 times 1, which will be equal to output level, which is equal to 8. So the second output level, which is equal to 8, and the price 2, which is equal to 1.00. Now, after doing so, what we're supposed to do, we need to find the price, the new price, a new quantity that will be used to draw to our demand function, to our consumer surplus graph. So we take out the demand function that is equal to 10 minus 2p raised to the power of 0.5. We let out Q, which is equal to 0, and we find price. So the output level will be equal to Q, which is equal to 0. So it will be 0 is equal to 10 minus 2p. So this will give you, this is exactly give you, we let out the subject negative 2p. This will be equals to negative 2p raised to the power of 0.5, which is equal to 10, 0 minus 10, which will give you exactly negative 10, which is equal to negative 2p raised to the power of 0.5. So we divide by negative 2 both sides. Negative and negative will cancel out. We'll remain with p raised to the power of 0.5, which is equal to 5. So our intention is to find p. We need to put under radical both sides of p. So we exchange 0.5 into decimal. That would be p raised to the power of half, which is equal to 5. We put under radical both sides. We obtain the values of price. So our value of price will be 5 raised to the power of half. It will be 5 raised to the power of half. So this will give you, this is like to say that the price is equal to 2, 1 over 2. The price is equal to 2, 1 over 2. This is like to say it will be equal to 5 over 2. 2, 1 over 2. That's like to say it is 5 over 2. Now, of obtaining the price, what about when we let out p, which is equal to 0? What will be our quantity? Now, let us let p, which is equal to 0, and we solve for the output level from our demand function we are provided. From our demand function we are provided. So our Q, which is equal to 0, and we find out Q when our price is equal to 0. So when we equate out price is equal to 0, we solve for Q. The output level of Q will be equal to 10 minus 2. We put out 0 raised to the power of 0.5, will obtain exactly the values of q, which is equal to 10. When we take out 10 minus 0, the answer will be, the output would be equals to 10. Exactly will give out 10 minus 0, which is equal to which is equal to exactly 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 10, as you can observe. So since we have already defined understanding the values of output, the q and the price, now it is capable to sketch out the graph. It is possible to sketch out the graph. So let's analyze our data clearly. When the price is equal to 0, our quantity is equal to 10. And when q is equal to 0, our q1 was 6 and the price 1 was 4. The q2 was 8 and the p2 was 1. So from our data set, when q is equal to 0 and the price is equal to 2 1 over 2, and the value of price 1, and when p is equal to 0, the value of q was 10, and the value of quantity 1 was 6 and price 1 was 4. The q2, the values was 8 and the price 2 was exactly 1. So let's sketch out our graph so as we can find the consumer surplus. So when you sketch the graph like this, as you can observe, we indicate out the equilibrium point. For the y-axis, that it is position is price, and the quantity, that is for the x-axis, that is position is quantities of output. We draw also the second graph, as you can observe. We indicate out the budget line or the demand line, and here we have price and here we have quantity. So the equilibrium points, we have the price, the values of price and quantity, as you can observe. So we plug in the values of price. So when we indicate out the value of price 1, when we indicate out those values that we indicate on the upper sides, we have 2 1 over 2 and we have 10. We indicate the equilibrium price. Those are the variable, variation, quantity, and price. So we indicate the equilibrium price, that is 4, and the quantity 1 was 10. So the consumer surplus is the area at the bottom indicated over there. And to the right hand side, you indicate the variable, the variations for the price and the quantity, and the equilibrium price and the quantity. So the equilibrium price is 1, exactly 1, and the quantity was 8. And the variations on the quantity and the price was 1 over 2, and exactly here was 10. So we find out the consumer surplus and the producer surplus. So consumer surplus is equal to half times base times 8. So consumer surplus is equal to half. Then we take out times base. Our base is 0 and 6. So we take out 6 minus 0, which is equal to 6. We take out our base, our 8, which will take out the large number. So there it will be equal to 4 minus 2, 1 over 2. We obtain the value for the base, for the 8. So when we cancel out, we obtain the consumer surplus is equal to 9 over 2. Again, from the right hand side of our graph, consumer surplus is equal to half times base times 8. So consumer surplus is equal to half. We plug in the value of base, which is equal to 8, and we plug in the values of 8, that is 1 minus 2, 1 over 2. So when we take out 2, a half 2 minus 1, this is the answer we give you exactly 12. So we take out the value, the middle value, the equation, as you can observe. So this will give you So when we take out 2 1 over 2 over half, then we minus 1. This will give out 1 1 over 2. So we plug in to equations 1 1 over 2, as you can observe. That will give you 3 over 2. So 2 will cancel with 8, and our consumer surplus will be equal to 4 times 3 over 2. So we take out 4 times 3 over 2. This will give you 6. So the consumer surplus is equal to 6. So here we have 9 over 2, and there we have 6. Now after seeing so, now let's go to another example. So since we have already obtained the values of consumer surplus with the first place and the second place, and the remaining side is the producer surplus, as you can observe. So let's go to on how we can solve the consumption bundle on the next example. Question number 2, suppose that the marginal utility of Mr. Bernard for product A is defined by the function marginal utility of A, which is equal to 10 minus A, x, where x is the number of units of commodity A, and similarly the marginal utility for commodity B is given by the following question, that is marginal utility of B, which is equal to 21 minus 2y, where y is the number of units of commodity B. Assume that the price of A and the price of B is 1 Tanzanian shillings. So how much of A and B would Mr. Bernard buy if he had 7 Tanzanian shillings to spend? So suppose the marginal utility of Mr. Bernard in product A is defined as the function of marginal utility of A, which is equal to 10 minus A, where x is the number of units of commodities A. And similarly, the marginal utility for commodity B is given by the following equation: marginal utility of B is equal to 21 minus 2y, where y is the number of units of commodity B. So for that case, solution. Since we are provided with the marginal utility of A, which is equal to 10 minus x, and we have the marginal utility of B, which is equal to 21 minus 2y, and the total income that the person spends 7 Tanzania, that he wishes to spend 7 Tanzania shillings. So price of x is equal to 1, price of y is equal to 1. Now we require to solve out the A, the consumption bundle for A and B, that is x and y. Now from the budget line, from the budget constraint, price of x times x plus price y times y is equal to income. So we plug in the price of x is 1 times x and 1 times y is equal to 7. Let you take the marginal utility of x over price of x to marginal utility of y over p1. Equate out to the equation so as you can solve out the equation. This will give you 21 minus 2y is equal to 10 minus x, and 21 minus 10 is equal to negative x plus 2y. So exchange the values over there so as you can equate out. We have decided to equate out y as a subject so as you can use it to convert it to plug into the budget constant to obtain the real values of x and y. So it will be 21 minus 10 is 11 is equal to negative x plus 2y. So this will give you 2y is equal to 11 plus x. Divide by 2 both sides. Divide by 2 both sides so as you can equate the equations. So when we take out divide by 2 both sides, this will give you y is equal to 5.5. When we take 11 divide by 2, will give you 5.5. 5.5. So when we take out a half, 1 divided by 2, that is 0.5, that is a half x. So this will give us 5.5, then plus 1 over 2x. Since we have y equations like this, we use it to plug into our budget constraint, that is x plus y is equal to 7. Let you plug a y to the equation. So this will give you, now from our budget constraint, that is x plus y is equal to 7. Let you plug in the values of y. So it will be x plus the value of y, that is 5.5 plus a half x, which is equal to 7. take out the like terms, that we take out x plus the half x is equal to 7 minus 5.5. It will be 1 over 1 over 2x is equal to 7 minus 5.5. This will give you 1.5. Divide by half, 1 over 1 over 2x, both sides. Divide by 1 over half. It will give you x is equal to 1.5 divided by 1, 1 over 2. This will give you 1. Now, since our x is equal to 1, let's use it. These the values of x is equal to 1. We plug in again to the budget constant to solve the value of y. This will give you 1 plus y is equal to 7. So our y will be 7 minus 1. That will give you y is equal to 6. So the consumption bundle, the bundle for A and B that are required to retreat maximization, they will be equals to A, which is equal to 1, and B, which is equal to 6. So for that case, we need to actually understand that the consumption bundle, the consumption bundle that maximizes utility function for Mr. Bernard will be equals to A, which is equal to 1, and B, which is equal to 6. So Mr. Bernard will buy exactly units of good A that is equal to 1, and B, which is equal to 6, so as it can maximize the utility function, maximize the utility, the total utility. And a given income of 7 Tanzania shillings. Have a given income of 7 Tanzania shillings, as you can observe. So let's look at another example. Yes, question number 3. A consumer marginal utilities for commodity X and Y are given as marginal utility of X, which is equal to 40 minus 10X. The marginal utility of Y is equal to 30 minus 6Y respectively. Now, question, you're required in part A, what is the consumer marginal rate of substitution in consumption at the consumption basket of X, which is equal to 3, and Y is equal to 4? So we take out the values of equation. But also, apart from calculating the consumer marginal rate of substitution, but also we have part B, that is to, if the price of X is equal to 10 and the price of Y is equal to 6, is the basket consumer equilibrium? Make sure that you show all the steps. Is the basket consumer consumption equilibrium? Now we require to show out all the steps when we are calculating the equation. Now let's go to solution. Now from this case, what you need to understand is the formula on how we can calculate the marginal rate of substitution, apart from what we are solving. So let's write the data given. The marginal utility of X, which is equal to 40 minus 10X, and we have also marginal utility is equal to, we have 30 minus 6Y. But also we are provided with the other data sets. We are required to calculate out the marginal rate of substitution. The marginal rate of substitution of X. The marginal rate of substitution, if you are provided with X, which is equal to 3, and Y is equal to 4. So from the formula, marginal rate of substitution for consumption goods of X and Y is equal to marginal utility of X divided by the marginal utility of Y. For that case, the marginal utility of X is, we are provided above, we have 40 minus 10X. We take out to divide out by 30 minus 6Y. We are provided also the marginal utility of Y on above. So let's plug in the values of X since we are given the X which is equal to 3 and Y is equal to 4. So as we can obtain the daily figure, it will be 40 minus 10 bracket times 3 divided by 30 minus 6 times 4. So we take out 40, then minus 10, take 10 times 3. Take out 40, then take out 10 times 3. That will give you 40 minus 30. Then 40 minus 30 is equal to 10. Then we take out 30 minus, then 6, then 30 minus 6 times 4, that will give you 6. So this will give you 10 divided by 6. Let you take 10 divided by 6, that will give you equals to 5 over 3. So the marginal rate of substitution of x and y will be equals to 5 over 3. So that is part A. Now let's go to part B. We require to prove if the utility maximization is in equilibrium. We are provided with the price of x, which is equal to 10, and the price of y, which is equal to 6. So in order we can show this consumer maximization in equilibrium, we need to plug in our data from the formula, or from what is known as Cobb-Douglas utility maximization, that we call the marginal utility of x divided by the price of x is equal to marginal utility of y divided by the price of y. So let's take out from our data sets. So this is like to say that we need to plug in x and y into utility maximization. That is marginal utility of x over divided by the price of x is equal to marginal utility of y divided by the price of y. So this will give out now 40. We take out the marginal utility of x over price of x is equal to marginal utility of y over price of y. So marginal utility of x is equal to, we are provided also the price of x is equal to 10 and the price of y is equal to 6. So we take out x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 4, as you observe. This is the data set we have. So let's plug in this to our utility maximization formula, as you can observe. So marginal utility of x is equal to 40 minus 10x, and we provide also the marginal utility of y, that is 30 minus 6y. So the marginal utility of x is equal to 40 minus 10x divided by the price of x, which is equal to 10. We equate out marginal utility of x of y, that is 30 minus 6y divided by the price of y, which is equal to 6, as you can observe. So let's you plug in to show up the utility maximizations. So when you take out 40 minus 10 times 3 over 10, and then you take out the right hand side 30 minus 6 times 4 divided by 6, this will give you the same, the equilibrium, that is equal to 1, 1. So this proves that the utility maximization is in equilibrium. From our data set, we have the equilibrium, as we show, is clearly proved. So it's like to say the basket consumptions of good x and y satisfy the equilibrium, the utility maximization equilibrium level. So the basket consumption is in equilibrium. So that is how we solve. So thank you for watching. The actual, this is DC Economics. Don't forget to watch on other videos. And I welcome you to other session. And I request you, don't forget to subscribe my channel for more favorable videos like this.